Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever. Today, we're watching ladder game, a cyber mirror matchup between TZ and Mountain on point of reach. So, let's see the build order. So we got P-Gen before the mexes. Don't always see that. You often see no P-Gens. 2 P-Gens for Mountain. That's pretty unusual. Can't remember the last time I saw someone make 2 P-Gens before the Hydro, but there you go. So you have these are actually tree groups, so you should grab a few of them at least. You might as well if you have the APM. What else are you gonna do at the start of the game? So we'll see fast transport, 9 P-Gens, the Hydro counts as 5 of course, 10 P-Gens for TZ. Mountain is going first transport, and just engineers. TZ has already made an air scout and a bomber, and actually he has a couple labs here as well, and just a bit of a stall as he makes that transport, and he's gonna go left. Mountain should already be on the move, I guess. He's already landing here. Accidentally just drops one initially, drops the rest of them, and should have a factory very quickly. TZ spots it and decides he's gonna drop the other side then instead. Just drops one engineer here to get the mexes quite quickly. No factory plan, so this is gonna be extremely vulnerable in early game. If Bomber came across, killed these 2 engineers, TZ would be in a bad way. But this island pretty much secure right now. 3 NGs dropped on this island, and actually, oh, very nice. So Mountain drops the NGs, builds a factory, and then picks up 5 NGs again and drops them on the other side to try and take this island. But there's a bomber and they're not split whatsoever. All 5 and the radar die. Even if they hadn't, this little ghetto gunship would likely have done the trick. So nice try for Mountain, but I actually wanted to drop even more engineers over from this island, but or perhaps just from the main base. He has 2 transports now, but decided against it. The reaction is too quick from TZ, as you know, also grabs this hydrocarbon. Tons of mass in the bank now. You want to be making T2 mexes pretty quick on this map. It's definitely one to eco on. And you'll probably see T2 air to or T2 land on this side of the map perhaps to make those Wagners, but mostly you need to get some T2 tech pretty quick to get the nice efficient T2 P-Gen. Don't want to be stuck making T1 P-Gens for too long in this game. This Hydro should definitely be taken as well. Yeah, the first factory goes down at 8 minutes on this island, so you can see this extremely vulnerable. If you just see how many mexes there are, there's just 12 here that were basically unprotected for the entire game until this ACU arrived. Risky stuff, and if you spot that in your opponent, and then you should try and exploit it the next time you're playing them. We have 8 engineers dropping on this island and spamming PDs. Still have a bomber in the vicinity that should be able to take care of it. Also, this factory is not close enough to be killed by the PD. So, bit of a miscalculation. If you can kill all the factories with PD, you just spam PD very fast, kill all the factories, then you do have a solid chance, but this is really too late to make this kind of play, because there will be NGs around the island, and also bombers can easily kill those engineers. So there's T2 air halfway done, and I don't see any T2 tech from TZ. So this harassment is, I would consider this more of a mass donation here. He denied 2 mexes for some short period of time, but this is just going to be reclaimed. And unless he had some bad power stall or something because of the Hydro being dead, I don't really see what it achieves. So T2 air done, T2 navy halfway complete. We have a T2 pigeon going up here, and in terms of mexes, well, we already have a T2 mex on this island. That's interesting. And we have T2 land halfway done. So we have T2 air, T2 land. For mountain, we have T2 air, T2 navy. For TZ, you can see one thing it did, it was didn't really allow him to make T2 land on this island and start spamming Wagners because he was under pressure and had to react to that. So that's certainly one effect. And of course, having to deal with shit like this and shit like this is it requires APM. Even if you can do it efficiently, perhaps you are less efficient in other areas as you concentrate on this. For example, your eco management may suffer. Transport face down in the dirt. But yeah, this T1 commander cannot arrive on the island at 12 minutes and expect to take it. That's just not how it could happen. If you had made T2 and then perhaps dropped and then sent the ACU at the same time, then I think there's a chance that could have worked, but doing this drop gets repelled easily, and then a T1 ACU just rocks up on the shore. It can't do shit really. So let's see what the whoa. What the fuck? Okay, so T3 land halfway done, over halfway done for mountain on this island. Strange. See, if you look in this island, you can see he could have made, I mean, T3 land, it's over 3k mass. So for Wagner is like, it's like 300 mass, I think. Oh god. UI. Yeah, it's like 300 mass. So if we say he could have 10 Wagners, then you imagine 10 Wagners, what they could do to this island. Could raid all of this. Could raid most mexes here. He could raid. So it's definitely a strange choice to go for T3 land. I do not remember seeing someone go for T3 land. Here we have T2 land. We do have Wagners coming out. Should also see some flak maybe to defend the island. A couple of flak are good. You can always retreat to them with your air and defend gunships, of course. Always useful to have a few flak. They're not very expensive. These Wagners will likely be used to harass this island, harass this island. You can even harass this one over here. That's why there's PD. And TZ has just gone for cruisers. Hasn't made a destro. Which is fair enough for Cybern. It's destro is certainly much better anti-navy, but in terms of shore bombardment, there's not a huge difference really between the cruiser and the destro, and the cruiser obviously is much more well equipped to defend versus torp bombers, which is what will often be used to stop shore bombardment. Bricks now moving across, and we actually have T2 support factory, air support factory as well, making T2 transport also for the bricks, I'm sure. This location bribe to be dropped. Ooh, excuse me. And so TZ, upon hearing that sound, is probably a bit incredulous, wondering what the fuck are bricks doing on his shore. But here they come, and they're shooting the ground. So it's going to be interesting to see what these bricks actually do. So they are now getting attacked by T2 Navy, gunships moving in. There's no amphibious flak for Cybern, so they will die to air eventually. The thing saving them is their huge HP. They should survive long enough to do damage. But actually their T1 PDs are doing massive damage. And this does not make bricks look like a good choice, I have to say right now. These initial 2 bricks sent across here did not in any way validate the T3 land choice. Let's see what the Wagners achieve on the other side. We got dead factory, dead mexes. If he splits these, he can kill quite a bit. It's going to be hard to kill anything over here thanks to a fair number of mantis and PD. He can kill this. He can send some here. It's quite difficult to stop them. But here we have the 3 bricks from the T2 transports get dropped. And there are T2 mexes to kill, and those T2 mexes will die. Oh, the air needs to avoid this cruiser. You do not want to fight here. He has less numbers, and there's cruisers in the area. That's an air suicide. One T2 mech survives, but this is going to be like 3k mass to reclaim, as well as grabbing those mexes back. Okay, let's take a look at eco again. It really seems Mountain is doing a lot of the raiding, although we do have some damage in here. I think there's a dead gunship. That's probably the root cause here. A lot of torp bombers. T2 mechs now dying to some Destro shore bombardment, but a brick, they do have ridiculous range. Probably no need to even have the torp bombers do anything there. There's so many torp bombers when he doesn't have air control. He needs to just run away with these. They have a really high speed torp bombers, so you should just run away, fly away with them. Don't stick around if you don't have to. Do have some prophylactic flags here. Good choice. There will likely be gunships sent to the island. And flags also coming out of this factory to create a safe zone for Mountain's air. Oh, that's so many gunships. Yeah, he could kill these gunships very easily with this. We could kill these flaks very easily with this many gunships. 20 gunships, you can kill 3 flaks, no problem. May have to just do some splitting. Split your gunships before they attack. Don't just simply give them an attack order. Otherwise, they will take a huge amount of damage before they actually naturally split themselves. We have a lot of dead naval factories. We just had T1 Navy spamming into this area, killing some shit, but now more build power going up. Really, Mountain has been just trying his best to ignore Navy, but that hasn't worked well for him. He's lost a lot of air to cruisers, also lost mexes to cruisers, and now he's losing his T3 land HQ to gunships, and that is fucking awful for him. It's an extremely expensive building, and it looks like he just lose the entire island. Can't really fight here because of all these cruisers on the shore, although they are now getting into range of bricks, and they are toast. Instantly, 3 cruisers die. That hurts. But we have more air suiciding from Mountain, unfortunately, as he overkills a frigate with 20 torp bombers. But he does have T3 air. Have we seen Ras? Well, he doesn't have Notify, and he actually still has not taken back these mexes, unfortunately. He does have Ras, and he's over here. This is not a good place. This is not really a hiding place. This is more a place where you can't help yourself if you're found. I mean, he doesn't have stealth, so if he's spotted, or if a Destro appears, maybe he could just die simply. Okay, all the torp bombers have disappeared. We have 5 ASF, and we have T3 Gen started. He definitely is going to need that. Look at this mass bar. He's reclaiming, yeah, that's because he's reclaiming this T3 HQ, which should give him maybe like 4k mass, maybe. It's a lot, but he is falling behind for sure. These gunships would love some air staging to repair them all. In fact, TZ has air staging in all of these cruisers, so when you're cyber and you have all these cruisers, you can just put your shit on patrol and let it automatically head to your cruisers to refuel and repair. T2 Navy finally for Mountain. He's given in. He decided, well, I guess I do kind of need T2 Navy on this map, but all these bricks are really just lost. He can't move across here. He doesn't have air control to do that. He's losing T2 mexes to gunships while he has T3 air and his opponent doesn't. Oh no, in fact TZ has gone T3 air himself. Definitely a necessary decision. T2 Navy, T3 air, really important on maps of this size and maps with this much water. But there's no T2 tech here, so there's not going to be any gunships or anything, or flax I should say. No flax to defend, and actually these are T3 gunships moving in. A lot of T1 anti-air, but it dies in like 3 shots or something. One gunship goes down. Look at that wreck. One gunship goes down, and now the rest of the island will go with it. ASF's taking damage, flying over cruisers. These cruisers have done, I mean, overall, they've done a lot of air damage, and not a huge amount of damage to the shore, in fact, but the advantage it gave him in the air is quite significant. Now we have gunships destroying the Destros it's built, while also destroying the actual HQ itself. And bad micro from Mountain. TZ is getting his ASF in behind him and doing a lot of damage. It looks like TZ may win this air fight. We have more reinforcements coming in, so Mountain should win it, but it's more down to who has more production now rather than who wins a small a relatively small air fight. But Mountain is still in this game. The Wagners actually did kill some T2 mexes. They unfortunately then ran into some PDs, but that's okay. Shit happens. More huge cruiser damage to this this ASF fleet, or wing perhaps is the right word. These cruisers. It's really just cruisers. He's not interested in making Destros because mostly he's not fighting Destros, and he's not fighting many frigs. But now we see an actual naval fleet appear for Mountain, and that should force more Destros out rather than cruisers for TZ. These bricks basically just been wandering around this island, trying to keep ships away from the shore and slowly losing health without really doing much at all. I suppose these mexes would have already been dead if the bricks weren't there, but it's a very expensive force of not very useful things. Mountain is making an upgrade. An expensive upgrade. What is that? I can't tell. Is that on his arm? Or it looks like it's on his chest, but it can't be because he has RAS. He's making laser. Well, okay then. He's making laser. Guess he feels like he doesn't have much of a chance at this stage of the game. I mean, the naval game is completely. I mean, we have 16 T2 ships for TZ, and we have 4 for Mountain. So you really would just like to see these T2 ships do something more useful than chill in TZ's half of the map. 2 Destros just get killed in an awful position. It's really not good. This island wiped out, unfortunately. A whole bunch of T1A. Not sure why this was made. Probably for those gunships. And now I think, unless this laser, see if this laser can actually do something. But I mean, he needs to find the ACU with that laser, and TZ is underwater, so the laser is not going to help him too much. You have a nuke started. Has TZ seen that? No, he hasn't seen it. But I like that idea. I prefer that to the laser idea. Laser's damn expensive. 4k mass. Strategic missile launcher is 15k mass. Certainly a lot more expensive of an option, but probably a better chance to work than the laser, especially considering all these cruisers. The cruisers CC not only have great AA to stop transports or whatever if you want to make some sneaky drop, but they also have huge radar coverage. So without stealth, you're not gonna get past a cruiser. But it looks like he's not really making it. Certainly not putting much into it at the minute. So Mountain is moving to this island, which just has lots of PDs and actually only one T2 mechs with his laser comm. It sounds like a death sentence. He has not, I don't think he ever reclaimed this island after it died to a gunship or two. That's not good. Corsairs here in the base. T3 mechs is upgrading. The nuke is being built by a single T1 engineer, so needless to say it's gonna be a while. Mountain now getting another upgrade. Perhaps, yeah, he should be getting the gun to give him extra range on his laser. If you don't have the gun upgrade, you have, well, the laser upgrade has the same range as your gun, so you need to get the gun upgrade to increase the range of the laser. TZ is now out of the water. Certainly a more dangerous position for him to be in, considering there's a laser comm, but maser comm I should say. But it's still going to be so difficult to actually get to him, and I haven't even seen... Okay, we have a bug. I guess Mountain changed his mind. Not actually interested in making strategic missile launcher. Now it would be interesting if TZ had the awareness to spot both of these. Like, he can actually see them. He has an omni sensor in a good location, actually next to a T3 P-Gen. It's good adjacency for him. But really, I mean, he surely has far more T2 Navy still than his opponent. 21 T2 Naval boats versus 5. 7 if you include the mermaids, which you shouldn't really in this calculation. But maybe he'll make a an SMD or even 2, which would be very expensive for him. But it looks like he's not going to do that. Haven't seen one started. But he has definitely seen the Soul Ripper begun, and it's not too far along already, so he has plenty of time to prepare by basically increasing his ASF production and making more SAMs. Is he still making inties? He's still making a huge amount of inties, so that's definitely something that should stop at this stage. I mean, you can make them for a while to aid you in maybe getting air control when you just have a few SF out, but maybe that's a good idea. Debatable, I would say. Depends on the situation, but making them now when you have 60 ASF, there's just no value in making inties there. This disgusting Shift G is it's really horrible to watch, but good sonar. It's quite disappointing there's no sonar for TZ. It's one of the best advantages for Cyber Navy. Should definitely be using it. It has a massive range. Massive. Commander under attack. Mountain has actually made landfall. Looks like he allowed his opponent make some T2 mexes so it would actually be worth killing. But still not that useful. And he actually didn't make the gun, he made T3. So he is actually going to take damage from these PDs. But at least he can shield himself. It's certainly more secure, but then again, it's still extremely dangerous. Now we have, finally TZ decides, well, I guess I could have won Navy 20 minutes, but I'll win it now. Can't really allow this Soul Ripper to be complete. So he's now sending in his air Oh god, there's no actual radar here, and so he has no idea that the entire ASF wing of TZ is just gonna fly in and kill the Soul Ripper before it's even conceived, and all the ASF are out of position for Mountain, and that is that. Simultaneously with the total wipe of Mountain's Navy and naval production. So, yeah, good game. This T3 land was interesting, but I think it wasn't really used correctly. If he dropping here, that was pretty good. The problem really is that he allowed them to die to gunships. I mean, if he had, say, if he had dropped a T2 transport with flax in it and then a T2 transport with bricks, then maybe he can get even further into the base. If he can drop in the back and be closer to those T2 P-gens at the time, he can do a lot more damage, but really he just needs to do more drops and less walking across and milling around. But yeah, maybe it's just not too viable, because he basically Mountain gave up T2 Navy. Didn't make T2 Navy until like 25 minutes, I believe, because he put his mass into that fast T3 on the left. I think really Wagner's will just do a solid job for you in that early game. Maybe later T3 drops would be sick, but yet to be proven. It wasn't proven in this game. So, well played, both players. GG.